Hi there. Welcome to Sunday Creative, where we are throwing outdated hustle culture into the trash and giving creative entrepreneurs that self care strategy they actually need to thrive. I'm Clyde Jean. Hello, creative wellness strategist and your self care bestie, fellow creative entrepreneur, and your go to for making sure your business doesn't burn you out before you get to enjoy your success. I'm talking real deal self care, the kind where we're all about balancing those big, bold, creative dreams with the energy and well being to actually sustain them. Because the real flex is a thriving business and a thriving you. So go ahead, grab your matcha, get comfy, and let's get into it. Now, as a sensitive, introverted, and multi-passionate creative myself, traditional launching is pure hell, okay? You get caught up in the excitement of it, right? The planning, the task lists, the idea of finally getting that big secret idea out there and having people experience and enjoy it. And then poof, right? The energy, that excitement, it is gone. It jerks out from beneath you like a rug. And you're left there with a rotting pile of burnout, self-doubt, and in just the right amount to convince yourself that sabotaging is the best path forward. Let me know if this resonates with you. This is what has happened to me the last few launches that I tried to do. And it sucks because you finally learn that quote unquote right way to do the whole launch thing, right? And you're literally just following the steps that you learned, but they just aren't getting you there. You're creating your pre-launch, your open card, and your post-launch plan, and there's a lot of to-dos, right? The to-do list just gets longer and longer for each of those parts. And then, oh wait, you're creating copy for all those landing pages, the sales page, the confirmation page, the thank you page, the this page, the that. And wait, you gotta use your creativity to actually design that shit too, right? Okay. And then you have marketing. You have to drum up all the social and web content, the blog content, the podcast content, the Instagram content. How many weeks of content do I need? Okay, 8 weeks. Okay, oh my. The list is just getting long. And oh, don't forget, you have to set up the onboarding. You have to have the perfect onboarding process. Now, okay, how does that Zapier Zap work again? Okay, so, yeah, you get excited about putting that idea out there. And then, yeah, by the time you plan all of this out and take the action on the plan, you've already blown through your energy and you're running on reserves, like before the pre launch even starts. But wait, this is the right way, quote unquote, right way for who? Perhaps an outgoing, resource rich person who just came out of 3 years of business school. I don't know. But the point is that we're not all the same. Okay, we have different experiences, we come from different backgrounds, we have access to different resources, and we're literally neurologically wired in different ways. So, what's a creative to do? Well, what I do know is there's a big chunk missing in all of this launch planning that especially sensitive folks and introverted folks cannot afford to skip, and that is self-care planning. Or better yet, a practical as fuck self-care framework that can not just see you through these traditional launch steps, but it can also dare to make your launch fit your energetic capacity and your lifestyle so that it's a fun and fulfilling process in your creative biz. Now, what does such a framework need to include? Okay, you want, okay, that sounds good. What do you need to do, right? Well, to get that cherry on top feeling in launching, and well, actually any part of your business, some deep self-care habits have got to be swirling around inside of you. And I'm going to spell this out for you in 6 parts. This is my Sunday approach, my Sunday framework, and I'm just going to get right into it right now. So the S in Sunday is for having self-awareness, some level of self-awareness, understanding yourself beyond the surface, knowing what makes you tick, understanding what your values and your non-negotiables are, knowing full well what makes your heart sing and your stomach flip in a good way, right? Understanding and acknowledging these types of things about you ensure that the actions and the steps you take actually feel right and are right for you, not just something somebody said you should do. Okay. And some of us are not ready for this, right? It's really deep, and that's okay. But are you ready? It's up to you. Are you ready to deepen your awareness of self and get a little bit more aligned so that your actions and the steps that you're taking in your biz are actually really resonating with who you are on a deeper level? Now, the U in Sunday is for unraveling and releasing. You're probably hitting your head against the wall, doing the same thing over and over without success, right? Maybe that's trying out the traditional launching unsuccessfully for the umpteenth time. Or maybe it's pushing through and ignoring your needs as a person, very sensitive to pushing beyond their energetic capacity. Whatever it is, here is where you bring awareness to what you're trying to do that's consistently not working and let it go to make space for something that does work. The N is for the nurture process. Now, for me, this is the fun part because it's very expansive. This is where you listen in to your needs and your desires. This is where you understand what nurtures your soul. This is where you explore what replenishes you and making it a habit to provide all of this for yourself without apology. This could be gentle yoga. You might like rock climbing, staring out of the window, writing creatively, making art in some way that isn't tied to productivity. It's wide open. Whatever nurtures you, like that's what you start to embrace during this process. And this is where my offers like Me Time Made Simple and Care as Creative as You, which is coming up, this is where they come in to help you figure all of this out and give it structure and give it a framework, a flexible infrastructure so that you can actually be supported and replenished by your nurture process. The D in Sunday is for develop authentic connections. Self-care is not it's not a hyper individual practice. Okay? It's not something that we do isolated all the time. Self-care in a vacuum isn't really sustainable. This is a part of your lifestyle and your business, sustained and supported by community. And there's two things necessary to establish the right community vibe for you: healthy boundaries and clear communication. In my services, I help you create strategies for these in the areas you need them the most. It might be with clients or colleagues or even with your family and significant others that you need help with establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries and learning how to communicate in a way that actually supports you. So the A in Sunday is for aligned action taking. This is really the result of all those previous parts we just covered of the framework. So once you have those swirling inside of you, it's much easier to tap in and to stay focused and to stay motivated, to take the actions that get you to where you know you're going. It's about embodying that emerging version of yourself, the self that you are right now and the self that's emerging. Now, remember that self-awareness piece. That's where this all comes in. Aligned action taking is how you're constantly stepping more into your full self, growing from experience and from creative expression. This is where you clearly state your goals and your intentions and list out the steps that you will take to get there, and then take the first step and then the second step and then the third step and so on. You are actively on your path living your dream when you are taking those aligned actions. And so finally in the framework we have the E, which is one of my faves, and this is energetic pacing. So you're taking those aligned actions, yeah, and we're going to drop deeper below the surface and start to notice What's exhausting our energy the quickest? Let's notice the times of day when we feel really deflated and lean into it instead of fighting it. Let's get acquainted, for example, with our energy and how it ebbs and flows each day, each season, each activity that we're doing. Not as a neurotic cognitive exercise. You don't have to get the tracker out, but more as a deeper intuitive knowing, okay? A self understanding that's like the cherry on top, the magic that empowers us to be more at ease doing things in our own way because we know beyond cognition, beyond mental thinking. We know deeply in our hearts that this is the right way for us. It's time for me to take a nap. Or it's time for me to do my deep focus work. Or this is a good time to connect with others, to have meetings, to share wisdom. Like this is what we're starting to get in tune with energetic pacing. So, my dear Sunday creatives, this is the Sunday framework. I've tested this out in different ways for 5 years now, successfully with myself, with my clients. Like covering these 6 areas, this is what leads to sustainable success, especially for those creatives who are really sensitive, highly sensitive persons, or introverted, or neurodiverse, like making sure you have these layers swirling inside of you. This is the deep self-care that's needed for that authentic creative expression and success in your creative biz. If you have any questions, send them over to me through the link in the show notes and I'll address them either by writing back to you or maybe I'll create an episode about them. And if you want to dive deeper into my Sunday framework, you can download the free guide, and the link is in the show notes. And it details each part of the framework and provides a quick exercise and actionable step for each part to get you going and establishing the habit of deepening your self care. And that is a wrap on today's episode. If this hit home for you, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you're feeling extra generous, leave a quick review. It helps more creatives like you find the show. Oh, and don't be a stranger. Come find me on Instagram at Soft Sunday Studios, Sunday as the ice cream, not as the day of the week. And DM me your biggest takeaway. Let's make self-care make sense in your creative biz. Okay? Ciao, ciao for now. Bye.